My name, Edmund Yakani, Executive Director of CEPO. I would like to take this opportunity with respect to express my voice and my concern as the country is marking today the first day for the newly extended 2 years of political transitional process, which is aiming at transitioning our situation from instability to stability. As a civil society, the indicators for success of this newly 2 years extended transitional period are centered on the following. 1. Timely and adequate allocation of resources to the institutions that are mandated for creating a good enough condition for the conduct of the elections. And these institutions are the National Election Commission, the National Constitutional Review Commission, Political Parties Council, the National Statistics Bureau, the Joint Defense Board. If this institution did not receive any funding as quick as possible in an adequate manner, the chances that they may deliver their mandates that aim at creating a good enough condition for the conduct of the elections may not be high, but it will be very below expectations, and this may make us again to hear excuse for demanding more further extension beyond this extension. And as many people have said, including citizens, that this extension is the last extension, we are communicating to the parties, to the R-ARCSS and the leadership of the country that failure to create a good enough condition for the conduct of the election is scheduled for December 2026 by the deadline of October 2025, and by the deadline of 22nd September 2026, we will demand the incumbent government to resign and an interim government should be established. No more extension, because we are aware that for the last few years, what we have seen is that we have seen some individual political leaders in the government, in the party, are fond of creating excuse and dragging of feet and diversion of resources and diversion of commitment from focusing on implementing the pending task of the R-ARCSS. We appreciate the message that we have had from the newly reconstituted leadership of National Transitional Committee, which says the unification of the forces will be completed in the next 9 months. In the past, we have had similar messages, but all of them were in vain. We hope that this newly reconstituted leadership of NPTC will hold the leadership of the parties and lead the country accountable in allocating resources for delivering their plan that they have said in the next 9 months. The last phase of the unification of forces will be delivered. But we also hope that the 9 months will result in the conduct of population census, if it is possible, and then making sure constitutions come to force if it is possible, because the electoral law has a calendar that contradicts some of these conditions that are required for the creation of conducive environment for the conduct of the election by December 2026. For example, the electoral law does not match with the calendar for the constitutional making process, does not match with the calendar for the conduct of the population census. Likely, if there's no political commitment, may also not match with the calendar for the unification of the forces. Therefore, as a civil society leader, we are recommending to the leadership of the country at the level of the presidency, at the level of the parties signatory to R-ARCSS, that the country should hold an urgent, inclusive stakeholders meeting and the party signatory to R-ARCSS to review the timeline for the creation of a good enough condition for the conduct of the election as scheduled for December 2026. We as an organization from now on will hold monthly briefing on performance of the government in delivering the pending task of the R-ARCSS within the 2 years, but also will have a quarterly transitional indicators on the party's compliance and non-compliance with the implementation of the pending tasks for creation of good enough condition for the conduct of the election as scheduled for December 2026. Our message to our leaders at the party level, at the government level, that as long as you don't renew your political pledge for transition the country from instability to stability through full confidence and trust, we are worried that this newly extended 2 years transitional period may end like the previous ones. And we'll hear on 22nd September 2026 an excuse that we need to extend the government because we fail to deliver some of the pending tasks. And this is the voice that we have had, or excuse that we have had for the last 5 years. This time round, no acceptancy. The incumbent government should resign. An interim government should be established as a peaceful and non-violent call. And as a reminder for your political commitment, you must demonstrate political responsibility and accountability this time round. We will never keep quiet. We'll keep on demanding you to commit yourself for creation of good enough condition for the conduct of the election as scheduled for December 2026. And remember, we need to have unrestricted civic and political space for us to continue constructive and responsible conversation among ourselves as South Sudanese as we are working towards the transitioning of the situation from instability to stability. Thank you very much.